Here's what happened yesterday. Vice President J.D. Vance had a rough go on the Sunday morning shows.
George, I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about.
Okay, first, the idea that the Vice President doesn't know the details of an FBI case involving the alleged bribery of his head of ICE, easily the most important agency under this administration, is preposterous. Anytime a politician is asked about something and their response is, I haven't seen the details, I don't know, they're gaslighting us to kingdom come. They know it, we know it, it's such a waste of time. It's the most unacceptable answer I can ever hear a politician give. I don't know. First of all, it's your job to know. It is literally your job to aggregate information about the country, about the administration under your stewardship, and make informed decisions. Of course they know. Politicians live and breathe every tidbit of news in their realm, from the smallest gossip to major breaking stories. They know. I hate the answer, I don't know, because it's bullshit. Yes, you fucking do. And we should never, ever accept that response from our employees. That should be universally unacceptable.
You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong, instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Right. And that's how you do it. That goes right back to what I just said. If a public servant, they work for us, is going to waste our time dodging very clear-cut questions, especially questions about government corruption, which we all pay for. If you're going to waste everyone's time and pivot to one of your rehearsed talking points and act like, well, I don't know, even though me and all my Republicans, all we ran on was ending the pervasive corruption of the Democrats, the Biden crime family. I'm just, when it comes to Republicans under my administration, I don't know, what's corruption? No, idiot. Next.
Crime is down in both Chicago and Portland.
Kristen, crime is down in Chicago and Portland often because they're so overwhelmed at the local level, they're not even keeping the statistics properly.
Who is buying this? Crime is only down on paper because it's actually so rampant, out of control, that the clerks at the police office desks can't keep tally of all the crime going on in Chicago and Portland? Is this like when the COVID cases didn't exist if we didn't test and count them? Or like when the election was stolen with all those cheated ballots that they just never found? Or how Trump won in Georgia if just the Georgia Election Board could find him those just 11,000 votes? Is this like that? When something happens that MAGA doesn't like, that doesn't fit their narrative, their brains are immediately transported to La La Land, where up is down and black is white and gravity doesn't exist, and whatever the hell needs to be the case for them and their irrational, time-wasting bullshit to make logical sense. I again implore conservatives to find, and Democrats too, liberals too, find party leaders who can do conservative things, liberal things for your agenda without behaving like complete ass clowns. The Education Department has hired at least 9 people from the America First Policy Institute. The think tank's listed goals include ending the separation of church and state and planting Jesus in every space. Well, doesn't that just sound like the best thing you've heard all day? It's really quite amazing to balance in your head what's worse, the terror and trauma being wrought on this country right now, or the damage being done that won't manifest for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And then decades from now, we're going to wake up one day to a whole generation of kids who were educated in public schools that prioritized some very selective history lessons and denying climate change and ending the separation of church and state and planting Jesus in every space. Project 2025 is with us now and will be with us for generations to come, because a lot of us believed Trump when he said he would bring prices down just because he said so. And now we have this. The Wall Street Journal is reporting weekly now just smoking gun after smoking gun when it comes to Trump's Epstein cover-up, and yet no one seems to care. On a weekend in mid-August, hundreds of inmates at a minimum security prison in Bryan, Texas were locked down during their usual time for strolling the grassy campus and visiting with family and friends, all except one, Ghislaine Maxwell, the 63-year-old associate of Jeffrey Epstein, convicted for her role in helping him sexually abuse underage teens. While her fellow inmates were confined to their dormitories after breakfast, Maxwell met with several visitors in the chapel, according to people familiar with the matter. Less than 3 weeks earlier, the Justice Department had moved Maxwell to Camp Bryan from a higher security facility in Tallahassee, Florida. Under Federal Bureau of Prison rules, prisoners with sex crime convictions like Maxwell's don't ordinarily qualify to serve their time in such camps. Maxwell's unexpected arrival upset the camp's usually relaxed atmosphere. Current and former inmates said in interviews that Maxwell appeared to receive unusually favorable treatment at times, sparking resentment from other inmates. I don't know how much more obvious it could be. The cover-up, I think any Trump voter just willing to take off their Trump jersey and just take an objective look at this, as some are starting to. Can you explain to me what this says to you? Along with everything else he has and hasn't done regarding the Epstein thing, everything that's come out from reputable conservative outlets like the Wall Street Journal, please explain to me what this looks like to you, because the Trump administration has gutted the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, leaving staffing levels there as of Monday about a third of where they had been in recent history. 2/3 of the agency wiped out. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. See, I could have sworn that I'd been told that
we have a very big mental health problem in this country.
He had a mental health intervention.
We really do have, I think, a mental health crisis in the United States of America.
Mental health is a big issue.
This mental health crisis.
Mentally disturbed young men.
This is about mental health.
Mentally ill.
The mental health issue.
Mental health crisis.
Mental health problem.
Mental health epidemic.
The common theme here is mental health, right?
We need to drastically change our approach to mental health.
It's mental health.
Okay. Lastly, at long, unbearably overdue last, thanks to the work of the Trump administration, the hostages in Israel have been released, and a ceasefire in Gaza is allowing Palestinians to attempt to return to whatever is left of their home. I don't think this happens without Donald Trump. So credit to him. I think above all else, he is obsessed with recognition and approval from elite institutions. As much as Republicans rail against the elites, there's nothing Donald Trump favors more than a pat on the back, an award, an honor, a positive headline. I mean, he literally watches cable news nonstop daily to glean who is praising him and who isn't. He talks all the time about, I did this, but I don't get much credit for it. This obviously eats at him more than anything else. And I think he set his sights on the Nobel Peace Prize, and for the good of the world, there was nothing getting in between his narcissism and that award, or a chance at it. Not even the stubborn evil of Hamas or Bibi Netanyahu. So, good job, President Trump.